supporters have kind of come out of the woodwork.
At a U.S. Army airfield in El Paso, exclusive video obtained by CBS News shows shackled detainees boarding a military cargo plane, one of two C-17s to depart the southern border carrying migrants, and landing in Guatemala Friday morning.
Deportation's going very well. We're getting the bad, hard criminals out.
Yeah, I'm literally here sitting crying, like crying, y'all. It's like so sad seeing people's family getting taken away, like just because they don't have papers, like a baby can lose their dad because they don't have papers. And you can get deported back to your, like where you came from just because you don't have papers. Like that shit is so sad. The world is so, literally so fucked up. Like, I don't know, like it's so sad for people to go to stores. Like you go to the stores and they're all empty because they're scared. Like they're scared for their lives. Like that shit is so sad and it's so wrong. Like I've been crying since the fucking morning, y'all. Like my For You page has me so sad. Like that, I don't know how to explain this, y'all. But that shit is so sad. And if you know that your family does not have no type of papers, keep them inside. You go to the store for them, anything, because they're literally scared for their lives. And it's so sad because they can just show up to schools now. They can raid the schools and they can take any students. They can take anybody. Like it's so fucking sad, dude. Like I wish the world was not like this. It's so fucked up. Like I don't even know how to explain the feeling. Like me knowing that I have papers and everything, and me on my For You page seeing that people are getting like their family taken away from them is so sad. Or them texting them like, "Can you go to the grocery store because I'm so like scared to go." That shit is sad as. But if you have family, do not put them in danger, girl. Keep them home. Keep them safe.
On Sunday, a nation.
Yeah, man. I ain't even gonna hold you when it comes to stuff like that, man. Like, not all, people from Mexico or immigrants, period. Not all of them is bad folks. You see what I'm saying? They just played on something called ignorance and distinction. They knew there was distinction between all of the different race groups in America, and this presidency played on each and every stereotype that could ever exist. Like, you mean black people was being lazy, Asian people wasn't getting into schools like they should have been because all of the DEI stuff, diversity, equity, and inclusion, all of the affirmative action, all of that stuff was geared towards, you know, people who are poor, who need a leg up. You see what I'm saying? And where they messed up at is when you listen to Donald Trump and everybody who is with Donald Trump, they said things like all of the criminals are being deported, and so it had the people from the hood, the poor and the downtrodden Mexicans saying things like, oh man, they're just going for the criminals. They're not gonna get us. You know what I'm saying? But the damage that caused, you see what I'm saying? Because now anybody can be deported. And I've heard talk about people talking about, well, we're not going to break up families. We're just going to send the whole family back. And the problem is, America, I don't know, man. They're playing on everybody's prejudices right now. You see what I'm saying? Because when affirmative action was canceled, black college rates barely dropped because we're used to running on a hamster wheel. You see what I'm saying? And Asians dropped like 15%. They were just complaining about stopping Asian hate while saying that all lives matter, which is a protest to Black Lives Matter. But we ain't gonna get into all that right now. We're in the video.
Immigration crackdown led to the arrest of 956 people, marking the highest number since Donald Trump returned to power. The raids, involving several federal agencies with expanded detention powers, took place in cities like Chicago, Newark, and Miami. Trump's immigration policies, including mass deportations, have intensified since his return, while Joe Biden's administration averaged 311 deportations daily, primarily targeting individuals with criminal records. The recent raids have sparked controversy, with local leaders criticizing the actions, especially when innocent individuals, including U.S. citizens, were caught in the crossfire. ICE continues to focus on deporting undocumented individuals, with the number of arrests and deportations expected to rise.
I don't know why it's so difficult for people to understand. And I'm getting to this point after watching Taffy's video about what's happening with the Latino community right now in the United States and the mass deportations happening and ICE raids in elementary schools. I don't know why it is hard for many people to understand that Latinos are like human beings and have goals and aspirations, and don't get it twisted, they're not here because they just woke up one day and wanted to be here. You know, it's deeper than that. And also, Latinos aren't just laborers doing back-breaking labor that no American wants to do. Yes, a huge majority of Latinos work in agriculture, work in construction, but like for you to be like, that's all they do is deeply upsetting. So maybe just think of them as human beings who came to this country and wanted a better life because of the deregulation and chaos happening back home, perpetuated probably more than likely by the United States. So yes, but also no. They're people too.
Hello guys, this is a tough moment for all Latinos. This was a post here on Facebook. One of our brothers was deported today. After being here for 30 years. His daughter shared this photo. This is ICE picking him up from his home. She stated that her father had been here for 30 years, working decently, following the law. And she states that he was working with his work permit. ICE came to their door, took him, with no excuse. She thought that they were trying to get the criminals out. If you have a family members with work permits or any type of permit, please be careful because they're taking anyone, no matter if you are a criminal or not, if you are here legally or not. This is affecting all of us. This is affecting, I'm Puerto Rican, and you already know what they said about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's an Iceland full of trash sitting in the middle of the ocean. So they're not even respecting the Latinos are here legally either. This is very sad. I'm very sorry for her father.
So a lot of you have been asking how I feel about these ICE deportations, and I mean, I'm gonna be pretty honest. As a Latina, like, I feel like it's awful. I feel like if you're any type of Latino and you're cool with it, like...
A sidebar. You see what I'm saying? When you listen to this type of stuff, you see this type of stuff, it really hurts you, shouldn't you say? Me personally, it hurts me a lot. I'm from Spanish Harlem, Kensington. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you see stuff like this, you see people get deported, man, and it's like, damn. But, you know, there are some racist Latinos. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, like, you know, all of them are bad. You see what I'm saying? And a couple of girls I liked in high school was very beautiful, Spanish, Latino, Mexican, all of that. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, things happen. You see what I'm saying? And it's up to us to decide to stick together and stop pointing fingers and blame gaming. Oh, he's a Latino. He's this, he's that, he's a black, lazy motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Because the world lies. You see what I'm saying? They say that black people commit most crimes in America. I can show you the statistics right now. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about working on an old video showing you why that stuff is a lie. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, we got a couple more minutes. I'm going to let them cook.
You gotta look inward, because, like, what is this? From my personal experience and how I can relate to this, for most of my childhood, my mom was undocumented. She didn't come to this country undocumented. Like, she came here with the passport, and then she just never renewed it. It expired. She was here. Up until like 5 years ago, she did not have a green card. And my whole life, that was an issue. Like, there was a lot of places that she wasn't allowed to go, like the airport, my grandma's house, San Diego. She lived in fear most of my life. We would always be like, oh, like, you should get your green card. Even like her family would be like, we will let you borrow money. I would even tell her, like, do you want me to do it? And she would always say no, 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 no. When Trump was president the first time, I went to go do my taxes, and the guy knows them from like before I was born, and he was like, why haven't you applied for a green card, to my mom? And he was like, you could get deported at any moment, and there's like no way for you to come back. Like, you need to get your green card. And so then I sponsored her, and I paid for the whole thing. That's why it does kind of hurt when she treats me so poorly, because I literally did so much, like, get her the green card, and I never threw it in her face or said anything.
At some point last year, my dad and my uncle were driving together. My dad and my uncle are both Mexican, and my dad is.
See, we were just talking about motherfucking crazy Latino, not racist, but from what I hear, it sounds like she's racist.
Citizen, and my uncle is a permanent resident. They get pulled over as they're driving together, and the police comes up to the driver's side and tells them to get out of the car. He calls for backup, and a police force shows up. They block off the entire street with caution tape as if it's a crime scene. They take my uncle and my dad. They throw them onto the dirty asphalt, this dirty road, and they handcuff them. They throw them into the back of the cop car, and they interrogate them. Where are you going? Where are you from? Are you from here? Do you have your license? Which they did. They take their license. They run everything, a whole background check, while they're interrogating them in the back of the cop car while they're handcuffed. And then they realize that all their documentation is actually not fake, which they thought it was. And they say, okay, you guys are good to go because everything seems to have ran correct.
Hey man, everything is cycles. I'm gonna tell you what this is. I'm giving you the cheat codes. I need y'all to listen to me right now, cause I'm about to wrap this up. This video is getting pretty long. I want you guys to understand that there is such thing that's called stop and frisking. You see what I'm saying? If you ever read a book called The New Jim Crow, this is the new Jim Crow. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna get out here. They're gonna grab you up. They're gonna run your stuff, because as long as you're a Latino, they can discriminate against you. That's how it was with black people in the war on drugs. That's why most drug convictions came from black folk, or not most, but a higher percentage came from black folk, the minority community, because black folk back in the day were easily accessible to crime, because the U.S. has a way of making people see things in a certain light. Like, if everybody is considered a criminal that's black, and your brain, your microaggression is that these guys are criminal, you see what I'm saying? More people will be less sensitive to seeing a bunch of black people being arrested and booked. A lot of them are opted to believe that most black people are criminals if you look at the statistics. But statistically speaking, black people are only 13% of America's population, so black people cannot be doing the majority of the crime. Actually, it's a bit different. I could show it to you on the I already said this, you know what? This has been the First Nations Podcast. I'm your boy Job. Get back with me if you like the content. Subscribe if you're new. You mean, we try and get a little buzz going. You mean, hopefully we could change the world one person at a time. Hopefully we could change America one city at a time. Get with me.